Hello, everyone. We are going to talk today about one of the most exciting topics at this event, how to work with YouTube and how to make this partnership successful for both you and them. My name is Maria Ruaguete. I'm Head of Media and Entertainment at Omdia. I'm going to present here some data, numbers on the industry, including YouTube, and then I will have a fantastic guest who can tell you all the secrets on how you can become a millionaire working with YouTube. Let's start with some data. So it's not a surprise if I tell you that in the US, YouTube is by far the #1 most popular video service across every single device. When we ask about daily usage, most age groups said 55% they're using YouTube on a daily basis. And as you can see, this popularity is across every single age group. When we look at France, although YouTube is also very popular, we can see that it's not in every age group. Things here are more smooth, and although it's leading above 25s, below 25s we see Instagram and TikTok being more popular than YouTube for under 24s. But still, for other age groups, as you can see there, again, YouTube being the most popular player in France. So everyone is talking about the new partnerships era. Why? There is a lot of love now between broadcasters, YouTube, streamers. Why this love? For broadcasters, because they know the reach of companies like YouTube with more than 2.7 billion monthly active users. Streaming video services like Netflix, HBO, this year they achieved more than 2.2 billion subscriptions. So we're talking here about huge global numbers. So broadcasters want to be in those platforms. And for those platforms, it's good to have broadcasters because that will increase engagement and retention on their platforms. When we talk about YouTube, it's more now than videos of cats or people opening presents in their living room. YouTube now became a destination for premium content. Broadcasters like the BBC are putting content now in YouTube. We heard last week about the announcement of sports content from FIFA being available in YouTube. The Oscars are coming to YouTube. So why all this premium content coming to YouTube? What are these premium platforms winning putting that content in YouTube? Last year at MIP London, I did this fantastic panel with Inoxtag, a French YouTuber, and I was very surprised of what we discussed at that session. This guy, Inoxtag, French YouTuber, did a documentary about him climbing Everest, premium content. It was available for free in the platform in YouTube, but the day before he went to the cinemas in France, sold out in minutes. Everyone wanted to see him in the cinema, despite the content being available for free in YouTube. We wrote a post on Omdia saying, can YouTubers save the cinema industry? And then that content that it was free in YouTube went to broadcasters, went to SVOD players, so the whole windows is changing a lot with YouTube and YouTubers. Why do we think it's a good place for broadcasters? In the UK, one of the leading broadcasters in the world, BBC, had very good daily usage, so is Channel 4, so is ITV. But when we compare the reach to big companies like YouTube, like Netflix, like Amazon, you can see that suddenly they have more reach if they are available in these other platforms. That's why this headline, BBC available in YouTube, is no longer so shocking, and it makes a lot of sense. They want to reach more audiences, more eyeballs. So who are the best partners? This is an interesting question and depends by what we mean by best. If by best we talk about size, eyeballs, in the pay world, subscription world, there is one clear winner. That is Netflix by far. With or without HBO, they are the #1 in terms of subscribers. And even if Paramount and HBO are now joining forces, still Netflix will be the #1 player. But when we put it next to YouTube, YouTube has bigger audience, almost 3 times the number of monthly active users. Here we're comparing users with subscribers of Netflix, But even when we compare monthly active users for Netflix to YouTube has 3 times more monthly active users than Netflix. And yes, many people pay for YouTube as well. 100 million worldwide pay for YouTube Premium, so it's not just a free service. And this is very interesting as well. When we ask in our consumer survey, what is your first destination when you switch on your TV? In France, for example, they told us it's Netflix. Hence, it's not a surprise that TF1 partnered with Netflix. If the first place you go in France is Netflix, TF1 wanted their live channels available there. And this is another interesting example why in France, for example, all these broadcasters want to work with YouTube. For example, 51% of people who are in YouTube are also watching France TV, but means 49% are not. Can France TV then use YouTube viewership to promote content and move audiences there? And it's not only public broadcasters. Netflix, Prime Video, Disney, even the cinema industry know that there are more viewers in YouTube than there are in their platforms. For example, that is like this shows cinema, that is the last logo. 47% of people who use YouTube in France go to the cinema, meaning that 53% are not going to the cinema. They're investing a lot of money, YouTube, 100 billion. That is more in the last 4 years that Netflix did with 79.5 billion. But it is true that they don't pay up front. We're going to ask them, are they planning to change this? Or is the model going to be revenue share, but they're not willing to pay up front? I'm going to ask Justine difficult questions. Thank you, and without further ado, I want to introduce Justine Ryst to the stage, please.
Ask the difficult questions. Let's go.
I'm going to ask you many difficult questions, and I think, Justine, is clear your job. You're managing director for YouTube in France and South Europe.
Sí.
I want to ask you difficult questions, yes. But first, an easy one. What is YouTube? Because we are tired of reading in LinkedIn, in social media, is YouTube TV, they are not TV. What is YouTube?
Yes. So first of all, thanks for inviting me and thanks for your presentation. I just think I want to start first taking a step back. I come from the world of television. I started my career at Endemol in France. So I know exactly what the business and the model of a producer in the traditional form of it is. I know exactly the depth and the intensity of the paradigm shift that all of the audiovisual ecosystem is going through this year and this decade. I started in 2000. It was the beginning of internet. And you could feel the revolution that internet was bringing. I feel that 25, 26 years after, we're going through the same intensity of revolution, plus the velocity of it, because everything is changing so fast. And so, to your question, what is YouTube? YouTube is a platform of video sharing. We just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year, and through the years, it has evolved and stepped in as, and your data was really illustrating this, the go-to destination when it comes to video. And so all the challenge of you guys in this room, because I think majorly we have producers, potentially we have broadcasters, is how do I take the maximum opportunity of YouTube to make my former production have a second life, or to completely reinvent my business model in this new paradigm?
And it is clear, Justine, that you have the eyeballs, you are the biggest player by far. That is very clear. It's not only in mobiles, in the TV as well. People are watching more and more content on the TV. But I will tell you something.
Sí.
I saw a headline last year saying YouTube ate TV, and we are just getting started. It was kind of a scary message, we ate TV. So if people here want to partner with you, but they don't want to be eaten, why those headlines that you are eating TV if you want friends?
Yeah, no, thank you, because there's probably a little misunderstanding here. YouTube is not here. to replace television. And when I say television, I'm talking about the broadcasting industry. YouTube is the best ally to television industry. And when I say this, I mean the broadcasters and the producers. The usage transformation and revolution that we're observing today, we didn't dictate it. The users themselves have chosen these different journeys or different ways of consumption. Our job, and this is the primary mission of YouTube, is give the best user experience and business model, we'll talk about it after, to make sure this is a sustainable environment in which not only the user find what they want in the way they want it, and we evolved so much since 20 years from being accessible only on desktop to now being accessible. You mentioned television. Television, the device, is the #1 screen in the US. It's the 2nd screen in France or in UK. So when you producers are having your content, you have to think about that notion of multi-format. So YouTube is, again, the best ally to television in the sense of audiovisual broadcast industry. And now it's all about the how. Like in 2026, it's not about the why YouTube, and you demonstrated. It's about the how YouTube. How can I reinvent myself to embrace that new opportunity and get the max of it?
That's good. Happy to hear you're not going to eat the TV industry. So can you provide us now a sample? So we know now BBC, for example, is one of the latest partners, but do you have data on broadcasters that they put content in YouTube and as a result they increase revenues or viewership? Do you have some use cases?
So indeed, the first use case that we observe is take YouTube to get incremental reach. I think this is mostly a no-brainer for everyone. You see the figures that you show, the complementarity of audience between YouTube and the platforms or YouTube and the broadcaster. When France Télévisions goes on YouTube, it's to get like a 30 years below versus its average year audience on television, on linear, for instance. And you know that in countries like France, we are plugged into médiamétrie, so you can actually now see exactly the complementarity of audience. This is why BBC and us bond that master agreement together. Because when you're a public service broadcaster, your main mission is to address the widest possible audience. I give you another example. On the pay TV side, Canal+ is using YouTube as, I'm going to say it in French, le clair de Canal, so the accessible, non-paid version of Canal. And they have a very smart strategy of putting the first episodes of their Créao, original creations, on YouTube. So you can think about Validé, you get like all the formats they create. The first episodes are on YouTube, and then it brings back, it invites you to go on the paid subscription offer. We did a study on this. YouTube is bringing 7% of the paid subscribers of Canal+. We did the same study with Sky Italia, so same model, pay TV, YouTube. YouTube is contributing to 8.7% of the Sky Italia sub. So first opportunity is about incremental audience.
So this is very clear. You mentioned Canal+ increasing 7.5% subscribers thanks to put some episodes in YouTube. Sky Italia also 8.7%. And you also do many things. It can be a laboratory for testing new content, for new actors, always on storytelling. So apart from putting those episodes, what else YouTube can do?
I want to maybe go back to the foundations and to the basic. When you're a producer, in your traditional way of doing business, you're going to produce your content, you're going to pitch it to a broadcaster, you're going to pitch it to a platform, you're going to have a window of rights, and then what happens? Well, most of the time, you are the right owner. If you negotiated, you are still the right owner, but you don't know what to do with your piece of art. This is where the back catalog strategy is super efficient. I don't know if Media One is in the room, maybe Bani J is in the room, maybe Newen is in the room, TF1 Studio. all these kinds of players have completely captured the power of YouTube for back catalog. Because then, all of a sudden, you give a second life to series, episodes, seasons that were nowhere else. And because YouTube is a destination of passionate, of communities, this content will always find their public. And I know we're going to talk about revenue after, but I really want to put the second pillar of this strategy, which is the revenue, also in face-to-face with the audience, because this is the virtue of such a strategy. Not only you're going to build your community in probably a very different exercise than what you're used to, because all of a sudden you're going B2C. You're going directly with your audience, but you're going to start to generate a new stream of revenue. And this is kind of your safety net. All the players I mentioned are generated very substantial revenues from their YouTube back catalog strategy, and this then leads to being even more audacious in the way you innovate. And this then leads to, okay, great, I'm going to start to produce original content on YouTube. I'm going to start to produce YouTube first, and then this content is going to go back on television or on the streamers.
That is great, but yesterday I spoke to some producers who may be here in the room today, and they told me, if as a producer I'm producing a new series, 6 episodes, why should I put it in YouTube if I may lose money of not selling it to a platform? If YouTube are not willing to give me money up front, or if the only model is revenue share, why should I bother putting my content in YouTube? So they don't want marketing, they may not want for publicity, they want it for money. So where is the money if you're a producer?
Where is the money?
Where is the money? They want to know, otherwise they may not want to put anything in YouTube.
So thank you for asking this question, because it's a question I have all the time in all my encounters and meeting with the producers. I'm going to say something that is that you guys all should know in that new environment. The business model of YouTube is absolutely unique and is foundationally different from a broadcaster or a streaming platform. First of all, our model is unique because we give back, we pay back more than half of our revenue. Le chiffre d'affaires, the revenue we generate on YouTube, we pay more than half of it to the right owners. When I say right owners, is the people who are behind the YouTube channels. This is exactly where the $100 billion figure comes from. In the 4 past year, YouTube paid back $100 billion to the channel owners. This is 20 billion more than Netflix. So indeed, we are not a broadcaster or a streaming platform in the sense that we don't buy upfront, we don't commission upfront, because we don't have a grid, we are not owning any IP. It's you guys who decide you're going to put your content on YouTube. And then we pay back once the audience and the views are generated. Why do I say to the producers, watch out? Don't say, I don't care about marketing, because guys, your community is going to be your first asset. And again, many producers have understood this. Once I'm able to build my community on YouTube, it can be based on one format, or I can create a YouTube channel. Endemol does this really well. I know Endemol well. Of course, this is where I come from. They have those kinds of umbrella channels with all the dramas, with all the entertainment. This is all ready-made. And they're accumulating millions of subscribers, thousands of subscribers on this. And then why is it super useful and valuable? Because then you can go back to your distribution business and say, look, this format, where we're going to do a new season, it already has, like, I don't know, 2 million subscribers on YouTube. So you know the next day you do a promotion from this format, you're going to have already a community which is following you. This is exactly the model that Inox Tag on Kaizen has demonstrated. Listen to this. The content he produced was first aired on cinema, in avant-première. It completely broke the box office. The next day, it was on YouTube. It was the most viewed video on the platform in France. And the next day, it was on TMC,
TF1 or M6. Yes,
and then on TF1 and M6. And it was also a super success.
Yeah.
So this is the new magic circle.
Yeah.
You guys have to crack. YouTube is about incremental reach. YouTube is about incremental revenue.
Yeah.
We don't buy upfront because this is not our business model. We tried. We completely failed. We tried 12 years ago, maybe some of you remember, when we launched YouTube Premium. It was called Red, YouTube Red at this time. And we started to acquire some content. When you go into that direction, first of all, it's a different job. You have to have completely different skills. And then you have to propose a grid where you're able to propose new format every month, every week, every day, every hour. Different job. We completely failed, we stopped. And so, voila.
So, but this looks great, but maybe people still, great you are doing the revenue sharing, but someone may think it's not enough for us, you are not convincing me. So what else can you offer, like hybrid rights, selling the same IP, maybe different windows, branded finance content? What other models, apart from revenue sharing, that is great, but maybe some people are saying not enough? Any other format?
For those who are saying not enough, I said, guys, did you try? Seriously. Because again, we didn't decide to bring the audience on YouTube. The audience decided. You have now, I'm sure we have folks from the UK. The UK is a very interesting market for us in Europe because it's like the antechamber, I don't know how you say this. Like the first entrance to the US. The US market is a step further into its appropriation, adoption of YouTube, because the market is completely different. In the UK, we see entities like All3Media, for instance, who has been actually bought by Banijay, who has completely cracked the YouTube strategy. And they're building their own business on YouTube. If we have folks of Media One, I like to get the example. This is more in the animation field, in the youth film. Maybe you know about Miraculous Ladybug. Voilà. They just did a spin-off, Miraculous Chibli, in the Chibli slide, style, which they started only on YouTube. So they launched the format on their YouTube channel. And because it had a success, because all the community has been built, they were able to do then deals with Disney, I think, and with other channels. So really, my recommendation is, guys, now it's time to start to put your hands into it. Start with your back catalog strategy. Start with the organic marketing strategy. Really the idea of using the multi-format to put several seconds or minutes of your show, like you would use the social network, use the short format on YouTube, and this is going to bring us to
my favorite topic is coming now.
But use this to make a rendezvous to what's happening on the audience of the broadcaster, or even on your main YouTube channel, because you can link a short format on YouTube to a long format on YouTube. So please take possession of it. If you don't know how to do it, we have some third parties who are most of the time folks coming from the TV industry, who are in the shadow, able to take all your your assets. If you don't have digital teams because you're independent, because you're a smaller structure, go to those third parties. We're super happy to introduce them to you. I have Clara here in the YouTube France team, and they're the best ones to put you on the horse, if I can say this.
And now
mettre le pied à l'étrier, c'est ça que je veux dire.
Because I have to speak about microdramas.
Oui.
But before I speak to microdramas, we did at Ondia research that says in the US, more than 50% of people, while they're watching TV in the big screen, they're watching videos on their mobile phones. More than 50% of people that they have the TV on, they're watching or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, but they're watching short content. One of that short content is obviously microdramas, but I want to know what are you doing in this space? Because microdrama apps, they said that they use YouTube, they use Instagram, they use social media to be discovered. What is your strategy around microdramas?
Alors, first of all, again, because we're not a broadcaster, we're not a streaming platform, we don't commission. I really want to re-emphasize this. Don't come to me to pitch your format. Go and put them, test them on YouTube, or test the talent, test whatever. What we observe, however, is how the shorts, everybody's familiar with shorts on YouTube. Shorts on YouTube is that vertical short form format that we launched 5 years ago because we were completely late in that field. On YouTube, you could only do horizontal format, and it was really an ask from the users. Every innovation we do on YouTube is driven by the user feedback, by the channel owner's feedback. And so after 5 years, the feature shorts has been expanding incredibly. I have a figure. So it's 200 billion daily views on shorts every day. It's the engaged viewers, so really the users of shorts have increased of 20% year on year last quarter. So what we observe is that we have a lot of producers or distributors of microdrama who are using YouTube as their organic first showcase to then transit to their platform. I know in the previous keynote we were talking about Real Short or Drama Box, the two leaders in the drama. Well, these two folks have very similar strategies. They both have a YouTube channel. Give me a number of subscribers they have. How much subscribers do you think each of them have on YouTube? Real Short and Drama Box. Anyone guess? They have 13 million subscribers each. That's huge. And so what they do is they showcase samples of microdrama on YouTube, and then they give a link, an hyperlink external to their platform. And this is exactly how the feature should be used. This is exactly how the power of YouTube should be used. Then we have more kind of old-style producers, not old-style producers, but producers from long-form scripted, long-form fiction, who are revamping their long-form into microdrama and putting them on shorts. Do you know Hélène et les garçons? You know Hélène et les garçons. So for those who are not French, this is kind of such an iconic like a soap of the 80s. And this is exactly what Media One is doing, kind of post-producing, post-editing into micro-stories, micro-drama, and using their YouTube channel for this. So we totally see the trend of micro-drama on YouTube. We totally see whether it is distributors using YouTube as a showcase, or the scripted entities using YouTube as their main destination. We have lots of creators, and here I'm talking about endemic creators, what we call the YouTubers. By the way, guys, the YouTubers in 2026 are becoming producers. They're becoming entrepreneurs. They have studios. They have, we have that creator economy that you probably heard of, and they're expanding in a very professional way, and they're going to be coming in the same playground as you. So watch them carefully. I like to mention a talent called Enora Hope. Enora Hope. She's very interesting to follow. She's doing microdrama on her YouTube channel. She has been hired by Netflix to be the réalisateur of their next project. So you see the evolution of this talent and of this piece of art.
And there is a lot of money in microdramas. At Omdia, we publish 11 billion in revenues, and a lot of money coming from outside China too. And as I said, people are addicted to their mobile phones. They, even watching TV, they have their phones. They do impulse buying. They find the content free in YouTube. They download the app, as I did, and then you end up paying a lot of money to watch and make microdrama. So again, food for thought for everyone who didn't.
Maybe I can add one component of the business model. you know that, and this is actually how the YouTube creators who never get any public subvention, okay, really start to expand on YouTube. Not only you have the AdSense, so again, if we earn 10 euros, almost 6 of it is going to go back in the pocket of the creator, the owner of the YouTube channel. But then you have the other dimension of the business, which is working with brands. And when you start working with brands, this is also creating an incredible uplift in the capacity of production cost you can build. All the brands are now shifting from traditional way of doing commercial or publicité to being much more organic in the content. We say creator media is the new paid. And so think as a creator, go and start to tackle the brands to be your new partners in that economical equation. I really believe the future, do we have only 14 seconds left? Oh my God. I really believe, I'm going to do the conclusion if you want, but the future is going to be about hybridation, hybrid. You guys are going to be hybrid in who are your clients. You have started to, your first clients were broadcaster, then streaming platform. You're going to start to go B2C with YouTube. You're going to start to work with brands. This is a new way of funding your content. You're going to start to work with or even for creators who are starting to be the next generation of producers. So really, my message to you guys, and my message today is seize the opportunity of YouTube, see it as your best ally to reach new audience and develop new streams of revenue, and start now. Don't wait.
I think she already gave the last message, but to close it, how many of you would like to put their content on YouTube and you are not doing it yet? Oh, look, you have lots of new fans now. So the panel has been a success. So thank you very much to all of you. Feel free to follow up with Justine. She will be around. And
I just want to say, we have teams in almost like we have teams in every country in Europe. So please reach out. Our teams are exactly shaped like this to put you on board of this new spaceship. I'm aware, again, it's super disruptive, but it's the next decades or, several decades, I think, of future.
Fantastic. You have the Oscars, you have FIFA Sports, and now you have all these creators putting content back in YouTube. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.